Today we're going to talk about delegation because I heard something today when I was talking to someone that really kind of piqued my interest about delegation. And he said that lawyers' lack of ability to delegate is a stress response to trying to control their anxiety. And I was just like, oh, like that's good. Like I that really kind of hit home for me and made me recognize like how true that actually is, and that I've seen that in my clients. And we were also kind of talking about how your lack of ability to delegate sometimes comes from you being so disorganized, right? You are so unorganized, you don't have systems, you don't have processes. How you do everything is in your head. So it takes so much longer to delegate a task to someone because you don't have a method by which you do things in a way that's documented. So let's kind of go through why you should be delegating and how that's going to be beneficial to your practice. If you're a solo attorney, a small firm, at a larger firm, you need to be able to delegate because you only have so much time in your day, right? And so we want to make sure that we're maximizing your time. So let's go over some kind of tips and reasons why you need to ensure that you are delegating what you can. And if you're not delegating, or you know there's areas where you could delegate more, then this is for you. Oh, and by the way, I have added this Cowboy Carter flag because I was just at the Cowboy Carter tour. I was the first night in LA. It was amazing, had a great time, had to put that up. So, okay, let's get into these tips. I think one of the first ones is the most obvious, is that it's going to increase your efficiency, going to increase your productivity, because it's going to free up your time to do the actual legal work. If you bill by the hour, then you're going to be able to do more billable work and less non-billable work. If you're flat fee like me, I'm primarily flat fee in my practice, and so it allows me to spend less time on the flat fee matters because I have someone who can do a lot of the things for me that I don't need to do, right? I've been an attorney for 16 years. My practice is mainly estate planning and real estate, and I do some bankruptcy work. And so a lot of the things that I do, I have done many, many times before. So there's a way in which they need to happen, and that's documented in my firm. And so I can give my paralegal, either a checklist of how to do things, an outline of how to do something, or I've also shared with you that I use Loom to record videos to show staff how to do something, especially when it comes to like e-filing or other things like that. And so, and I've shared, and I think it's linked down below, kind of different tech that I suggest for you, and Loom is one of those, so that you can document your processes in a way that allows your staff to be able to figure it out without having to interrupt you every time, right? You can say, here, I need you to file this motion in ex parte probate court, and here's the video on how to do it. They can go watch the video, figure out how to do it, rewind it, rewatch it as much as they need to, pause, play, right? And know how to file that motion ex parte for you, right? And so making sure you're delegating, but having the systems in place to be able to do so. It's going to allow you to produce your work product faster for your clients. It's going to make your clients happier. And if you're flat fee like me, you want to get those done as fast as you can. So next reason why you should be delegating, or why you need to delegate more if you're not delegating enough, is that it really helps. I think this ties to the first one, is that it really helps you focus on what are your strengths? What are you best at? Right? And so being able to delegate the admin tasks, the client communication, or whatever needs to be delegated in your firm allows you to focus at what you're best at. And if you're a solo like me, one of the things that I'm best at is the sales. The sales is the biggest part of what I do in my law firm, right? I am selling my legal services to new clients. So those consultations one of the highest and best uses of my time, because in my firm, I'm the only one who can do that. But when it comes to writing letters, preparing bankruptcy petitions, preparing, simple wills and power of attorneys and things like that, I can delegate that to staff so I can focus on what I need to do. What does Darcel need to be doing in this firm? Next point is that it's going to be more cost effective, right? You're going to be able to get work done faster, and it's more cost effective for the client if you're billing hourly, and that you can have your paralegal drafting these legal pleadings that maybe you would otherwise be drafting. So while that's going to be a lower billable for you at your staff's rate, think of how much more that could get done on some of these more simpler routine legal pleadings, right? And also to actually get them done. How many cases, how many files do you have sitting in a pile on your desk that are waiting for you to get to that you just haven't got to yet? Maybe you've been too busy, maybe you've been procrastinating, who knows the reason why. But if you have someone on your team who can get that done and turn that work out, lawyers are notorious for procrastinating. We all do it. But finding a solution to resolving that, having, systems for your staff to be able to step in and get that work off your desk. It does not feel good to come into your office and see the same stack of work on your desk that's been there for 3 weeks waiting on you, to look at that discovery that you need to get out that you haven't gotten out. That doesn't feel good. You know what does feel good is having a paralegal who can get that done and get that out for you and clean your desk off. That feels really good. It makes your clients happy. It makes you happier. It makes your staff more productive. And so just all the more reasons why we have to be able to let go, stop micromanaging, and allow our staff to help us to delegate tasks where we can delegate them. And I guess the next point would be better customer service for your clients, right? A better experience with your law firm to get things done faster, to get things done more efficiently, to get things done, at a lower cost. To be able to delegate brings so many benefits to your clients, to you, to your staff, that if you are not taking advantage of what you already have in place in your firm and you're not delegating where you should be, you need to hear this, and you need to sit down and figure out what are all the tasks that you're doing that you don't need to be doing. What are those tasks, and who can we delegate them to? That's going to be one of the priorities and takeaways for you from this video today, okay? I think when you have a staff that you include in the client files and can take a proactive part, take ownership of that work, it really increases, morale and team development at your firm. To have your staff do more than just, admin work, but also do some legal work, really include them in that process and helping the client. It's going to help you also avoid burnout. If you are doing all the things and you feel like you're the only one who can do it and no one else can do it like you, no one else can do it as good as you do, no one else can do it as fast as you do, you are burning yourself out. You are on the fast track to burnout. You are taking the express lanes to get yourself burned out. That's not what we want. That's not why we've opened our own law firms. It's not to burn ourselves out. And so being able to delegate simple things like your phones. If you are still answering your phones, you need to get a virtual receptionist immediately. You don't have time to be answering your own phone. I know there is a cost to having a virtual receptionist, but if you bill for 1 or 2 extra hours per month, that covers the cost of the virtual receptionist. And trust me, if you are currently answering phone calls and returning phone calls and missing phone calls because you're busy, as soon as you get a virtual receptionist, you are going to free up so much more billable time for yourself. The ROI on having a virtual receptionist is many, many times over and very much worth it. So if you are that CLO who's answering your own phones, this part of this video is for you. I am speaking to you directly. You need to look to get a virtual receptionist immediately. There's many, many options. I've shared that I use Smith AI. There's Ruby Receptionist. There's so many options for you. Look into the options, pick one, and hire one. And I don't think they require a long-term contract. I know mine doesn't. You're month to month. So if you do it for 2 or 3 months and it's not working, you can stop using them. But that's not going to be the case. You're going to have so much relief by having somebody else handling your phones for you. I promise. And then also, I think delegation really allows for growth. Now, for some of you, what growth means is going to be different. For me, I have no desire to be a multi-attorney law firm. That's just not what I want and how I envision my practice. I envision my law firm being more of a boutique specialty type of firm, that we remain small, and not have a volume-based practice. But that's my practice. If you want to increase capacity, if you want to add to your team, if you want to bring on more attorneys, if you want to increase the volume of cases, the only way you're going to do it is if you delegate work, if you hire onto your team and delegate the work to the team, because you cannot do it all. There's no way you can scale and grow your law firm without adding to your team and without giving up some control and delegating to that team. But the only way you can do so is if you have documented systems and processes for how you run your law firm, how your files should be handled. So I hope this is helpful for you. If you have been struggling with delegating, if you've been struggling with, wanting to micromanage and having a hard time giving up that control, this was for you today, and this was your reminder, because you already know this, right? I don't think anything I've said today has been news to you. If you've been struggling with this and knowing that you need to either add to your team or delegate to your current team because you can't do it all, you should not expect yourself to do it all, and you need help. And that's why we opened our law firms, right? Was to serve our clients, to build this business that we're proud of, and to not run ourselves into the ground. You need to get some help, and it's okay to get some help in your law firm. And I know it's a cost, but you are going to recognize the benefit of that when you add on to your team. And do it slow. If you're looking to add your first person on, don't hire a full-time 40-hour per week employee. That's not what we're doing. I don't advise that. Right? You can hire someone part-time, get an independent contractor, look at various options for part-time support in your law firm. So if you need help with delegating, if you need help with developing those systems and processes, I'm Darcel Lobo. I am an attorney, but I am also a coach and consultant for law firm owners, for lawyers who want to open their own law firms, need help managing their law firms in a way that supports them and how they want to live their life. So feel free to reach out. I'll have my contact info below, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, thank you.